On this inaugural episode of The Lowdown, McDonald's goes McMeatless, Walmart's driverless delivery test, holiday stunt season, and Fisher-Price Museum on Instagram. Join us, won't you?
And here we go.
Yeah, buddies! Welcome to the maiden voyage of The Lowdown, a small agency's take on the big, big world of PR and social in mainstream media, pop culture, and much more. And arguably the greatest podcast in the comsphere. Coming to you from BML PR headquarters in Florham Park, New Jersey, my name is Brian Lowe. I'm the president and CEO of BML Public Relations, the greatest PR and social media agency on the planet that I happen to own. But don't take our word for it. Judge for yourself by checking us out at bmlpr.com. And on our new and soon-to-be huge industry podcast, we'll talk all things strategy, creative, and execution. Who did it right? Who missed the mark? Raising the bar. Well, we're breaking down all the PR spin and social strats that make the world go round. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, but listen, it's not just me riding solo here. I'm going to have a little help from my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Joining me today are three incredible comms pros that I not only have the pleasure of working with daily, but I also greatly admire and respect as humans. Say hello to my fellow lowdowners, pop culture juggernaut who's deathly afraid of human-looking puppets, Jennifer Petrella.
Hey.
Hi. Yes, that's very true. Please don't send me puppet photos.
Our next guest is a VP extraordinaire. He's our in-house salad dressing drinker and Quirkmeister General, John Gramuglia.
What up? Hey, guys.
And last but not least, our former bodybuilder and arch nemesis of Korn and the Vanity Metric, our very own senior social media strategist and master of all things on the wide, wide world of web, Michael Schick alone. Nice and subtle. I like that, Schick.
Short to the point.
Listen, we should note that all opinions shared here on the podcast are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of our agency. And if you don't like them, drop us a line. We're happy to discuss, but we think you can handle it.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're going to kick things off with a little thing that we call This Segment Is Not Brought to You By, which highlights a brand or someone that deserves a nod for doing it right. And, to join, to start off this podcast, obviously, one of the things, given all the horrible nature of what's going on in the world with the coronavirus right now and the spread, we thought it was pretty incredible. There's a guy out there named Dr. David AGUS. Dr. AGUS is a professor of medicine and engineering at the University of Southern California. He is one of the world's leading physicians and co-founder of several pioneering personalized medicine companies. His website is davidagus.com. That's AGUS. And Dr. AGUS is doing something incredible right now that I think that people should know about. He's actually put his phone number out there on his website. He's been on Howard Stern a number of times. He's done the media circuit. The guy is really incredible. He's a genius, and he literally put his personal cell phone number out there,
It's his number.
It's his. By all indications, it is his number.
Oh, wow.
And he responds to any text inquiry he gets.
Wow.
Jeez.
And to try it out, I actually tried it over the weekend. You do get a quick response that is like a kickback, an auto-generated kickback. But from there, you can tell it's a real human answering your question. So I had a couple questions about coronavirus specifically. I heard something about vitamin D. Does vitamin D, should you be taking that, a supplement to help to make sure that if you get coronavirus, you possibly won't get it as badly? And he wrote back. And he wrote back not only to the first question, but when I sent the second one, he wrote back within minutes. So pretty incredible that this doctor, who is actually, I believe I've heard or read that he was in consideration to be on President-elect Biden's coronavirus task force. Whether that's true or not, I can't totally confirm. But just a great mind like that. You can text Dr. AGUS at 310-299-9322 to ask your questions about the latest trends in health and to get regular updates from him. So
Cool.
Pretty incredible. Dr. AGUS, thanks for that service. I think that's pretty incredible. And you got the love coming your way, certainly from everyone here at the Lowdown.
For sure.
Good stuff.
So now that we're gonna kick it over to Mike Schick, who's gonna kick us off with an icebreaker of the week. Schick, take it away.
Yeah, buddy. So yes, for all those of you joining us at home or wherever you're listening to us, we do this thing whenever we have a new hire or somebody else that comes into our
Brainstorm.
group. Yeah,
Right.
Just get the blood flowing. So we do a little bit of an icebreaker. So today's question: zombie apocalypse. You guys can choose 3 people, fictional or non-fictional, to be in your raiding crew. Who are they?
The most shit question ever.
I know. Can I choose Schick?
You
Sure.
most certainly can.
He seems the most prepared out of everyone that works here.
You have no idea how many rolls of paper towels I have at home.
He also told me, I don't know if this is privileged or it probably is, but whatever. He's been stocking rice and beans in his basement. just
Protein
in
and
case.
carbs. Come on, guys.
dried stuff. So whatever. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna pick, obviously, because this can go fictional, non-fictional, however you want to do it. All right. I'm gonna say Rick Grimes from Walking Dead. Obviously, we need someone to steer the ship. So Rick for sure is number one. I'm gonna pick Ina Garten. I figure I need someone to cook
Love
us
that.
some killer meals.
Love that so much.
On the fly, right? And then for like a third one, boy, I don't know. That's a tough one.
She's like, if you can't harvest your own beans from Schick's bunker are fine.
Exactly.
I think I'd take Jen Petrella. She keep me very entertained. I think in the foxhole fighting the apocalypse. So we have a similar sense of humor.
That is so nice.
I'll choose Jen. Sure.
So I would say, I watched Iron Man over the weekend with my kids, and I never really got into kind of any of the Marvel movies yet. We just started to. So Iron Man kicked some pretty great ass, I'd say, during that movie. So I'd go Iron Man. So I need somebody to save me. I love the thought of Ina, right?
Right.
But I'm gonna go more Frontier Woman.
Ooh.
Or Pioneer Woman.
Pioneer Woman.
Pioneer Woman. What's her name again?
Ree
Drummond.
Right. I'm going her because she literally go outside and like snap the neck of like a moose or a deer or something and just kill it and make incredible dinner.
Yeah.
I think I want somebody funny, right? So
Yeah. That's why I
is
chose,
it like John Mulaney or is it like somebody like
That's fun.
comedian like that? I don't know.
that's why I chose Jen. Comedic value, similar taste in pop culture. Totally.
Well, if
Then
that
we would have a
wasn't-
lot of time to work on my movie education.
If that's
Yes.
not a nod to launching a comedy career, Jen, I don't really know what is. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, for someone else that would be humbling, but you're right. So
There you go. Exactly.
I would probably pick Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson from Zombieland.
Ooh. Nice.
They have a lot of experience.
Good call. Yeah.
Am I still the third?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, they have experience and weapons, and then I think you have really good ideas to bring to the table. So
Yeah.
I think the four of us could really do some
Look
damage.
at that. Okay.
Got that. So I can say confidently that Brian and John, you're both dead.
Okay.
I mean, this is a raiding crew, and you're bringing a chef and comedy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, I brought a superhero though.
Yeah, but Ina comes with Jeffrey.
Yeah.
So always, it's a 1-2 punch package deal.
Because Jeffrey looks like he's gonna stand up to anybody, right?
They're playing for comfort, not strategy.
Seriously, they're
Yeah.
dead. They are dead. My three would actually be Rick Grimes as my number two, because I'm number one. Come on. And then Thor, the God of Thunder. I'm going to take a god over a guy in an iron suit.
Okay.
I know you're still early in the movies. You'll get there.
So is it so that the god can just call another god and say, "Yo"?
He's just a him. It's a him and his axe and lightning. You know
Yeah,
what
but
else
Thor
more do you
has
need?
morals. You should take Loki. No morals.
Loki's a jokester, and can't trust him. And then I was actually going to take John. A little insult that you didn't choose me because of the amount of hours we played Call of Duty Zombies. I mean, it's just unsaid. Like we are on that wavelength, or at least I thought we were.
That would have been it.
Well, I mean, then I'm going to be okay because I shouldn't let my 6-year-old play PUBG, but he does, and he's really good at it. Kid's a hell of a shot, so I think I'm going to be all right.
All right.
You know, but hey, hopefully our little groups wandering in the
Hopefully
in the
we don't
wilderness.
cross.
Hopefully, we connect and we join up to be one super group, if you will. But awesome. Listen, Schick, thanks for the icebreaker. I liked it. Good way to start off here. And with that, now we're going to head over to our first topic, and that is Jennifer Petrella. Take it away.
Yes. So I'm sure that you guys have heard about this, but basically in the news lately, there's been a lot of talk about fake meat coming into the mainstream.
Feet.
Yes. Or no. Pizza Hut is putting out a Beyond Meat pizza. It's a Beyond Sausage pizza. And then I believe they have a Supreme pizza as well. And McDonald's is talking about launching a McPlant menu next year. So that'll be a plant-based meat menu. So they're going to have plant beef. And then I think they have plans to launch plant chicken as well. So this is a pretty emerging trend. I know last year Disney World rolled out a whole bunch of plant-based things in all of their properties too. So
Plant Filet-O-Fish. Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
Well, it'd be funny. I mean, what does that turkey leg look like now down there in Disney? Is it just like a big piece of like
I mean, they still have it.
Beyond
They
Meat?
just rolled in some Beyond Meat things as
just
well.
roll it in a bone?
Just kidding.
So yeah, I mean, what do you think? Are they late? Do you think this is going to be everywhere in a couple years? 2021, the year of the fake meat?
So,
Good question.
You know, I mean, look, it's personally, it's not for me. It's not my thing. I'll try it. I haven't tried it yet. But I will say for people who really want that as a need, I don't like, I never understood how the Impossible Burger, like, you know, and it's an incredible innovation in food, but like, if you specifically don't want to eat an animal, but but this imposter meat like bleeds like one. I don't know. I don't know. I think that is a weird. It's a disconnect for me. I don't know why somebody would want to see that.
The Impossible Burger is so good.
I just haven't had it.
It's exactly like a real burger. You would
Did
never
you have
notice.
the Burger King one?
No, I had it at the place over here,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
like just like a regular restaurant.
yeah. Don't plug them.
Well, if they want to pay us, I ate their Impossible Burger. It was excellent.
Awesome.
I like the whole vibe behind the Impossible Burger with like helping climate change, you know, the message underneath it. But for me, as it just from a eating standpoint, I know if I'm gonna eat something that's not meat, I don't want it to like feel and like look and cook and smell like meat. I'd rather just eat like a vegetable personally.
Right.
Although
I would think it would be
I feel like
off-putting.
I'm the opposite. I feel like I want it to be as close to what it should be as possible.
I get that POV. I'm just not like that. But
Yeah.
I know people. I know friends of mine who have gone vegan, who are vegetarian, who are like pescatarian, who miss eating like a burger.
Yeah.
And they love it. I get it for them. But for me, who still I'm an omnivore, I guess, or whatever. I like to eat meat that's meat and like vegetable that's vegetable stuff. But I have had the Impossible Burger and I have had the Beyond Burger and I like them both. They're both very good. But I would just prefer to like do like the real thing.
I would imagine the Beyond sausage pizza is probably so good because the Beyond sausage is pretty close to
I have
regular
not had
sausage.
that yet, so
I've had it.
interesting.
I like make chili with it. Yeah,
Cool.
it's very good.
Is it literally to the point where I would have no idea if you were like, by the way, you just ate?
I think if I didn't tell you, we could get one over on you. Yeah,
Because I
It's
have
pretty
seen
close.
I have seen videos where people have done like the side by side. Like I think BuzzFeed did a whole thing where like they had a bunch of their staff like you know they cooked up in two different test kitchens. One was beef and one was the Impossible meat, and
Right.
it was like you know they could tell the difference in texture when they held it,
Yeah.
but not so much when they ate it and had all the same toppings.
I
and
mean, if
stuff
you
on it.
use it to make something else, like when I make chili, I don't think you would have any chance of knowing.
right, awesome,
Yeah.
yeah. I just don't wonder. I mean, is that the Pizza Hut demographic though? I mean, John used to work on that business. What
That I did. I think Pizza Hut, they truly are like an innovator. So I think them coming to the table with a national offering makes totally sense for them. I feel like if they didn't do it, it would be a miss. So they got to do it. I think it's kind of like that.
I was gonna say, I think the news there is in them being the first, right? There's no other pizza brand doing this.
As far as I know, I think they are
So-
the first. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean and anytime you can flex, you know, the muscle of an entire system like that. I mean, how many locations they have? They have
God.
Exactly.
it's so many locations,
System-wide,
like
they can make it
4,000 or
happen.
something
Yeah.
much higher than that. Right. So the news alone, anytime they do
Right.
anything and they announce it system wide, is going to be a
Right.
win.
It's not just a little bit of a testing play. It's system wide. So
Right. Exactly. And we'll get to that later. Thank you, John, for the segue. But no, yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, I would give it a go, but I just don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. The other thing too is like for me, it's like when you're eating Burger King and you're eating Pizza Hut and you're eating these kinds of things. I mean, let's be honest. We're going to health that up a little bit. So maybe, I guess it's just not about health though. I guess it's just personal preference.
I think
right?
it's personal preference to diversify the offering. If someone's walking in or driving through McDonald's these days and they can't, then there's at least there's something for them.
Yeah, I mean, there are some places where a McDonald's is your only option. Like if you're, driving or
sure.
you're in.
I know.
So-
Remember business travel?
Yeah.
When you wind up somewhere.
I know.
Hey, I'm in Evansville, Indiana. What do we have? Let's see. Domino's?
Yeah.
Chili's, or it's crazy. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's an interesting topic. I think it's an interesting move, right? How can they not be in it? And to flex the entire system is huge.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, the bummer is that these guys don't share. They really don't share sales, like anyone, like we would advise as well. Like, so it'd be interesting, but hopefully it takes off and hopefully people feel like if they've been limited in that way, I just feel like for Pizza Hut, it's an add-on.
Sure.
Right? Cause it's not like you're going to go in, you're going to be like, well, like you could go in and get a plain pizza.
Right.
It's not
Right.
like
Yeah.
you're going in and everything is slathered in like real meat.
Sure.
But it'll be interesting. I think it's kind of cool.
I was
Did
very
Taco-
interested to try the plant McNugget.
Yeah.
When is that out?
They say next year, but I think the beef options are coming first, and then the chicken is like down the line. So I don't know, but I'll be waiting. I'm a big McNugget gal.
Yeah, same here. I McDonald's overall for
Yeah.
nuggets. Is it really going to be called the McPlant? Is that like the or is
So
that like the line?
the menu is going to be the McPlant menu. I don't know what the item. I don't think they've announced the items yet, but
Gotcha.
yeah, they are going to call it the McPlant.
I was watching the news at the office here on the lower third on the Chiron. It just says McDonald's introduces McPlant. So
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what that.
What does that mean?
exactly
Who wrote that,
meant.
Brian
You're
Lowe?
right.
Yeah, I think we know which network you were watching, and they'll remain nameless for now. But not shocked by those Chiron errors.
This wasn't very descriptive, you know. Anyway,
Oh,
Like,
great,
huh.
McPlant.
Wonder what's going on there.
Yeah, great. Well, it's an interesting topic for
Yeah.
sure, and obviously not going away. And I agree to a point John brought up. I mean, from a climate change standpoint,
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, hell, let's give it a go. I mean, it can't.
it's a much
it can
more
only help,
sustainable
right?
option. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So super interesting. I love it. So, all right, cool. Well, now let's transition into our second topic of the day. So I'm going to tackle that one for you guys. So Walmart revs up a self-driving delivery pilot with a twist. So these are the stories that make me roll my eyes. But I shouldn't have infused my bias into it already. But let's dive in. So last week, Lisa Lacey, who's a senior writer at Adweek, wrote a story about Walmart revving up yet another test of its self-driving delivery pilot in the Phoenix suburb of Scottsdale with San Francisco-based self-driving car partner Cruise, which is their third in the region. So this is the third time they're, quote, testing this, right? So Walmart said customers in the area will be able to place orders for free, contact-free, or sorry, not for free, but for contact-free delivery. A quote from a SVP over there at Walmart, a guy named Tom Ward, said in a blog post, quote, "You've seen us test drive with self-driving cars in the past, and we're continuing to learn a lot about how they can shape the future of retail," end quote. So Cruise is just the latest partner that Walmart has added. They join a long, long list, including Google's self-driving car company Waymo, autonomous delivery company Udelv, and ride-sharing partner Uber. So pointing to the launch of Walmart's express delivery service, which took place in April, Ward also said, this year we've had our foot on the accelerator. Wonk, wonk, see what they did there? Hey-o.
Hey now.
Expanding our pickup and delivery service so customers can get the items they need quickly and safely. So let's start here. From a self-driving delivery standpoint, is this feasible in your opinion?
Give it like 10, 15, maybe 20 years.
I'm taking the fundamental view on this thing. If I'm on the highway and I see a car without a driver next to me, or like tractor trailer, all in a Walmart trailer, dude, that's scaring the hell out of me.
Logistically, like, how does your package get to you? Like, I understand the self-driving car. Google is obviously doing it to
So
do
I
Google Maps.
guess they literally throw it in the back of a car, and then that
The car,
car
like,
without
ejects.
a driver just pulls up in front of your house.
I mean, what if you order something fragile and then the car has to eject it?
The car
from
knows to take the sharp turns, better and everything.
Well, I would also assume that, right? I would also assume though that like this is so it's making it easier for consumers, but is it like I don't answer the door with all my deliveries.
Hell no.
If
Never.
anything, so
Never.
if there's no driver in the car, how's that box getting on my doorstep without me coming
That's what
out
I
and
mean.
getting
That's
it
what I'm
out of the
saying.
car,
Is
right?
the car
Yeah.
going to eject it?
It's so
I
hopefully
would
during
love to
this
see that. An ejector seat.
hopefully during this test
Yeah.
they're working on
I guess
that.
where I was coming from was like a Walmart hauler, shipping goods from a distribution center to a store, and that thing was driverless. That would scare the hell out of me.
That would be
But,
hilarious.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's hauler related at all. I think it's individual orders. I mean, it's interesting too now. Like you look at Amazon, if you order from like Amazon Fresh. The other day I was like, who the hell is that outside of my house? And my wife had ordered Amazon Fresh, and some dude pulled up in like a Civic.
Yeah.
And just got out and just dropped some bags on my porch.
Sure.
But it'd be interesting to see, whether this whole thing is feasible. I mean, personally, I don't think there's an insurance company in the world that is going to really insure this in a great capacity. But
Right.
I could be wrong about that. But let me ask you guys this though too. As PR folks, right? Does your BS meter go off when you hear the word test? And and John segued a little bit earlier with Pizza Hut on this.
Well, my BS meter does go off, but it's as a PR person, it's a great tactic to have in my
Yeah.
back pocket to make something fly that might normally not have legs.
Right.
So, as much I like it because I think as a PR person it opens, and probably from a social perspective too, it just opens the door up to do cool stuff and to get headlines.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if I would call it BS, but I think it definitely is one of those tactics, like we limited time only and a select number of and testing, like all those kinds of things that we employ to make stuff happen that is difficult to do otherwise. So
Yeah,
I mean,
and I know I kind of teed it up like it was BS, but I'll be honest with you, I'm the first one you guys know. I'm the first one who runs around here and goes, not if we're quote unquote testing
Right.
it. So yeah, I mean, I do love it as a tactic as well, and I think it works. But let me ask this. So while love Lisa Lacey and how her stories and follow her on Adweek, but and she wasn't the only one to report this, but at this point, a third test. In the same market, should we be writing about that? Should media be writing and kind of writing about it again for the third test?
Right. I mean, I would think the news value, if there really aren't any fresh news pegs, if it's the same old thing, it's just continued testing. It's a little stale, I'm surprised it would get the spotlight like it did, but
well, I would think if it wasn't Walmart, it probably would not.
Fair point.
That's just a brand that's so large that you kind of have to almost report on it.
Absolutely. I was kind of thinking the same thing. It's like, these guys just kind of throw whatever out and, you're either a beat reporter for them or you so want to cover the next big thing.
Yeah.
And you don't know if what's going to stick and what's not. You run with the story. But yeah, I kind of feel like third time for me, it's like a little meh. Especially because the only thing it seems to have changed here was the car partner. It seemed that they're using Cruise versus all the other guys. And then I guess one other question I have here, for you guys is really, okay, so you're in the PR seat. Sorry, Shay. You're in the PR seat at Walmart. If this is actually real, would the risk of this program be worth the reward?
I mean, in this instance, yeah, right? Because all they have to do is say they're doing it and get all this news. But you're talking about actually
I'm talking
rolling it
about the
out.
bigger program versus just the one-off stunt. Because here's how I see it. I see it like I was shocked in New York City when Citibank jumped on the Citi Bike program. All you needed was one person to get killed, right? And we've all driven in New York City. It's madness, right? So for anyone listening who hasn't driven in the city, it's like a video game, right? At least, I mean, that's how I treat it. But the fact of the matter is people got hurt and people got killed. And every single time it wound up in the headlines and even if the bike program was doing something positive, it always said, the end of the story always wrapped with, 3 people have been killed, over the course of the past year or something on the Citi Bike program. So to me, it's like, is it worth mixing your brand up in something that, to your point, you're driving down the highway, you see a car that's self-driving, and then it malfunctions and potentially kills somebody. I mean, so what would you say to leadership that's like, we're doing this thing?
Oh man, for me, this is a tough one because I look at while the innovation of self-driving technology is super cool, very fascinating. There's a lot of positives it seems like associated with it, but I also take a step back. I look at used to work in the automotive industry, the logistics folks, right? The truckers, that's putting people out of jobs, right? So it's like when I see a burger flipping robot, well, it's like, okay, that's pretty cool, but that's going to take away probably a couple shifts from people trying to make a living. Right. So I look at it from the other side, and the human element of me is, in addition to all the risk and putting people probably out of work, at least on the surface, I'm not into it. But I think if they could perfect the technology and kind of draw that correlation of how this is actually opening the door up for more jobs in the tech space or whatever the case may be, it's in the message. I think if there's a way to tell that story from that perspective, I dig it. But for now, I'm not super into it.
But that's the thing, right? Yeah, there's not innovation. You can't use that, harness that power in different ways versus just being like, all right, well, we're gonna put a driverless car on the road.
Yeah. It's cool to grab a headline, but I think there's a lot more work that needs to be done.
So in this story specifically, so here is what I liked about this story, okay? And I gave you kind of the aerial perspective on it, so go check it out at adweek.com. But the story was really created as a vehicle to position Walmart as a leader in tech innovation.
Sure.
And the story does go on to highlight some specific points that I didn't mention. So, for instance, Walmart's trying to reach zero emissions as a company by 2040. Its expansion of pickup and delivery services that the retailer seeks to transform its 4,800 store footprint into physical shopping locations that can also service fulfillment centers to meet the needs of online shoppers. So those are all like incredible things that you want to shout from the mountaintops. But the thing that I didn't like is the test reminds me of drone delivery, right?
Yeah.
Great move in the beginning, super unique, push it out, great assets, nice B-roll, some great imagery, all that kind of stuff. But then it just got hacky as everybody kind of jumped on it. So I say that because I really don't believe, as I mentioned earlier, there's an insurance company in the world that's ever going to cover drones flying over
I know.
people's heads and roadways carrying boxes that could potentially fall, hurt people, cause accidents. And again, that's just my opinion. I mean, I didn't think the website would help my father's roofing company when he said we need to build a website. I'm like, who the hell is going to shop for a roofing company? And sure enough, it's one of the main ways he gets a lot of leads these days. But so that's just my opinion. But I also don't believe there's a real consumer impact here. And that's the bigger thing here, right? Like as an agency, we're always talking about, not publicity for publicity's sake, but for the fact of generating that business impact. So I think there's just been so much of this type of thing that I personally think while media kind of takes the bait, and I don't begrudge them it because, like we said, they want to make sure they're covering something that they don't want to not cover something that maybe could end up being the next big thing, right?
Right.
But consumers, I personally think, tune it out. So the coverage looks good in a media tracker, but I think the concept should be retired. There's no doubt in my mind that the internal agency, the internal people over there and the agency muscle associated with Walmart can just do significantly better. And again, those messages, those positive messages they talk about, the zero emissions and transforming how they will make stores double as a footprint for you to go in as well as a fulfillment center, which probably is going to cut down on shipping and delivery and all these kinds of things from an environmental standpoint. Those are incredible things. So well done to Walmart for keeping the innovation going. I just think that you guys can do it. There's a much better stunt you guys can do, I think, at this point with it. And I look forward to seeing it. So that's it for me on this topic. So now we're gonna transition over to John.
Yeah. It's the most wonderful time.
Oh my gosh.
Gang, Thanksgiving is upon us. As Jen rolls her eyes. Holiday stunts. They're starting to hit us in the face from every direction, right? I gotta say, one of the holiday stunts that I've loved, the trends in holiday stunts over the past few years that I've really loved have been wearables. I think we've all seen them kind of resonate in the press. And I think someone who's done it better actually is Arby's. I don't know if you guys saw their recent.
We got the meats.
Yeah, we got the meats. I don't know if you saw their recent stunt here for Thanksgiving, but to celebrate their new deep fried turkey sandwich, the brand launched a life-size turkey pillow to help battle tryptophan after you eat turkey and fall asleep. So it's actually a life-size turkey that you could stick your head in, and it doubles as a pillow. So technically, it's a wearable, right? If you're going to remember back in 2017 too, Arby's, because they do have the meats, launched their line of meat sweats, which was a onesie that looked like you were encased in a side of beef, like it looked like you were wearing a cow. These guys have done it better than anyone else. KFC's jump on the bandwagon. We talked about it for Taco Bell. Elio's Pizza is now even in the game too. But wearables, it's a trend that continues to be reimagined. And similar to Brian's point with testing, right? Is it time to hang up the wearable trend?
Heyo.
Didn't even know I was walking into that one. But
Yeah.
Is it time to hang up the wearable trend? And if not, what do you think the next big wearable will be? We're all going to be confined to our home space in short order. Wearables are going to become a thing, even more so, I think, more popular than ever. What do we think?
God, it's only time until we get like a Starbucks smartwatch, right?
Right.
Only a matter of time.
What is the next one?
I mean, the next one's probably just going to be something that's going to capitalize on something that we're already using, right? So if it's a cell phone case, I feel like that's, 2006. But I don't personally think, I like the ideas of wearable because also you're now empowering your audience and your following. So the idea here from a brand perspective is like, all right, I'm going to put this out there. My super fans are going to buy this. Income for the brand, right? And then they're going to go out there and wear it. And they're going to hopefully post pictures about it on social, tag the brand, more exposure. So you're, again, building your brand influence from the ground up. I like it. Right. I just want to see it continually push. The meat sweats is funny.
That's what I want to see. Like if you remember too, Netflix a couple years ago came out with socks that would vibrate if you fell asleep in bed and it was like you were watching Netflix too long. It could detect if you were asleep and it would kind of buzz you to wake you up. Like, you turn off your TV. Like really funny stuff, and people continue to kind of reimagine it. But like, how much more is left?
Well, and I mean, I liken it to what we do around here, right? We talk about like, I know personally for me, what are the things that cut through, the things that are funny. Right. I mean, that Arby's turkey hat. Right. Is absolutely hilarious, and everyone's got that one friend who's a jackass who's gonna who if he can get his hands on it, if it's not sold out, which my guess is they made 100 of them and then said they're sold out. Yeah. Send them to influencers and the rest.
So really cool. They sold out. They did the initial launch. They sold out. They put another run of them up on their site. They sold out. So they technically sold out twice in short order. But they're continuing to kind of keep this the buzz alive with the turkey.
The
poetry,
only
so.
thing they missed was saying that the website crashed for an hour or two,
True,
because that's
true,
a nice little plus up there on the messaging. But
True.
no, I mean, I love it, and it's so funny too, because I could just picture being out and about and seeing some guy walk down the street with a turkey on his head that looks really warm and comfortable. I'm all for it.
That brand speaks to me. They know their lane, all about meat. They just continue to reimagine that space and do fun things to breathe life into the QSR world. So it's very super cool.
No doubt.
Yeah,
for sure.
No doubt. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
love it.
Question is, so if you're listening, John's family, for the holidays, if you get your hands on one of those hats, that's what he's looking for. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so John, thanks for that. And now let's head over to Schick for the social second.
Yeah, so this is just a quick shout out really to Fisher Price. They might have hit me at the right time. You're probably thinking like, why an adult is talking about Fisher Price?
Well, I would argue you're not an adult, but
Also, a lot of people in my inner circle would argue that too. But no, I think so just to give you guys a little bit of background, they launched their toy museum gallery on Instagram. So this is something I just wanted to call out. Go follow them at fisherprice.toymuseum. Check it out. So it's really a different way of how people or how a bit brand has used Instagram. They kind of did it backwards in the sense of like they just dumped all this stuff, this content, showcasing products all the way from, I believe, the 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way to today, and highlighting the key products or toys from those decades. Really good job there, because it hits on that nostalgia. So for me, I have a 1-year-old at home. There's some of the toys that, like, from my childhood, now he's playing with, and you go back and see, like, oh my God, this is from 1957. Like,
Right.
It's funny. It hits that nostalgic tone. And it's just different. I'm calling this out because of how Fisher Price is using Instagram differently, right?
Yeah.
It's just a one and done. They're not posting to the account anymore. So when you see it, you scroll up, you start scrolling, you're like, oh my God, they put this museum graphic here that takes up 6 images. If they post anything, it's all ruined. Not the case here. They're done. So it's really just a place to go, browse through some products, go through some of your old memories, and just kind of connect. So I really applaud them for doing it. It's using the account differently, using the platform differently. It's great to see.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
yeah, we were thumbing through it before here, and it's these guys are making fun of me because I saw something. I guess it looked like it came out in 1942, and I was like, I think I had that as a kid, and I'm not that old by any stretch. But yeah, no, a really cool, new way to use the platform, as you mentioned. What's better than nostalgia? I mean, that's really kind of hits you.
I think
in a good
now
spot.
too, everybody's trapped at home, right, or stuck at home. So that morale is a little low. So why not go jump back to a memory which you're all fond of?
Well, and it's timed so perfectly too, right? To think about, the holidays are among us. People are starting to start thinking about buying holiday gifts and toys and things for kids, and to be able to go through and have that moment of nostalgia where you feel like, wow, oh my God, I remember this toy as a kid. I loved this thing. Chances are you're going to then scroll through Fisher Price and have a look and see what you're going to get for your kids or nieces, nephews, and the rest. So I think it's awesome. I think it's a really cool play.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's super cool. And you said they're not going to touch it. They're just going to
Doesn't look like it. Because, again, once you start scrolling, you have that grid. So you post one image, your whole grid's ruined.
You have to post 3 at a time.
Right. You could do that. But then it's, now jumping ahead of that. So,
Sure.
right. So unless they're going to delete those pictures to add more, I think it's done.
Question becomes now is like, like how everyone this brings you back to the ice bucket challenge, right? Everyone's like, how do we do that?
Right,
So if this thing does catch fire on social the way it does, it's probably also going to almost get a little annoying that there's going to be a lot of imitators, which is a great form of flattery, of course. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how other people try and raise the bar from that. I think it's a super cool idea. Were you think it was like, could you see a lot of the content? Were the numbers crazy from a shareable standpoint, or people are just literally going and finding it
The
and living it
engagement
there?
metrics weren't crazy off the charts. When I first started following the account, it was maybe 5,000 followers. It's up to 20 plus. So it's not like a engagement machine. I think it's just there. It's more of a gallery to go, you stumble upon. If you heard it in the news, I believe I saw it in Ad Week, or if not Social Media Week. It's just something to kind of go stumble upon, look through. And
I would imagine their page views are much higher than the followers would be, because what is the incentive to follow it if there's not going to be new content?
Exactly.
When you could just go on anytime you want and view the content. So I would imagine their views are probably off the charts.
Right.
That's a good point. Yeah, cool. Well, listen, that was awesome. Yeah, let's keep an eye on it and see see how we can replicate. But yeah, listen. So that wraps it up for us here at the Lowdown. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. If you enjoyed the podcast, drop us a line at tld@bmlpr.com and recommend us to an industry friend. The Lowdown can be found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And here we go at the wind up. Here come the plugs. Follow me at Brian M. Lowe1 on Twitter. You'll regret it. Schick.
Follow me at Mike Schick on Instagram, Twitter, and that's it.
You could follow your boy John at Modern Crouton on Instagram.
Did you spell that?
It's modern and then
Yeah.
COOTUN.
You could follow me on Instagram. My handle is just J Petrella, P as in Peter. Yeah, but like I said at the beginning, no puppet photos or you will be blocked.
And the other thing is, if you want to check us out, looking for a great agency, or you want to check us out. Follow our agency at BMLPR on Twitter and Instagram, as well as on Facebook. Check out our case studies on BMLPR.com. And lastly, if you're looking for an agency with all the results without the typical agency bullshit, that is your friends here. So
Hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up. Listen, in the meantime, wear your mask over your nose. Keep distance. Wash your hands. Until next time, stay safe, everyone.
Peace.
Woo!